Welcome to the summit. Life is love, love is life. And I can now introduce you to Nicola Amadora. Welcome.
Thank you, Susan. It is a joy to be here and to contribute.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And you are a spiritual teacher, you are a speaker, you're a writer, and you're also a transpersonal psychologist. You have a PhD, and you've been traveling around for 30 years, pointing to your true nature and helping people to know that for themselves. And that's also what we'll be talking about today, which is life, it's love, it's our true nature, our essence, and all this body, mind, and world, the beauty of it and the mess of it. So it's everything. And I've read your poetry. You have a book, Nothing But Love, and you have it right there. You can show.
Yes, right here. It's nice and red.
Yeah, and it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, the poetry is like Rumi, Hafiz. I'm just like blown away. And you also have another book on the way.
Yes, and it's called Love Unleashed, How to Rise in a World on the Edge. It's very much about really embodiment, spiritual embodiment. So it's not just the realization of who you are, but being able to live it as a full human being. So,
yeah. And you are also a founder of Living Connection. And what's that about?
Well, that is really the name. I had to give a name to my work, and this is the name for it. That is really about bringing this spark, this love, this truth into this world, into our relationships, and making a difference that is so needed right now. So this is, very much the retreats that I teach, the trainings I teach, also teachers and therapists, how to unite spirituality and psychology as well, so that we are not creating greater split, because what's important, we can embody and live it.
Yeah, like taking it in fully, live life fully, you could say, as it is.
And live that divine spark, live that truth of love every moment, in every encounter. And so the realization is really, I think, the easy part. The embodiment is the part where most people stumble. And no surprise, because we are in the midst of a whirlwind of samsara, and we have accumulated enormous amount of karma and habits and ways how we live still in a separate way, and therefore we create more suffering in our world, and therefore more trauma as well. And I feel personally very passionate about that. The love that we're really talking about is not just a concept or an idea or some transcendent realization, but that this love really includes everything. And I think you asked me to read one of the poems. Maybe this is a good moment to begin with that.
Yes, absolutely. Please. Yes.
So Susan picked this one, and it's called Come Near. So near to the crushing of the waves, the rhythm of this earth, the twinkling of the stars, the blooming flowers on the field, to you, beloved one, and the joy of being alive. So near to the despair of those unloved, cruel wars fought by minds gone insane, horrors committed by those who do not know, the homeless and starving for our greed, to the one who has forgotten, and the pain we all experience too. So near in this heart that is broken open, as wide as the world, with no answer but this. Come near. In love, stand free and meet ruthlessly all that is. The horrible mess and exquisite beauty of this human life as it is. Come near, there is nothing to fear, for in being fully here, with a heart wide enough to embrace the world as it is, we are joined together in a love that lives in each one of us. Come near.
Oh, yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah. And you also, that's what your work is about coming near to everything, like being intimate with life, what comes your way. Don't fear it, but bring it full on, and in that it's like you kind of surrender in a love that is not describable, I guess. But it's what we're made of.
Yeah, it's the love that, as you say, that we're made of, that we are. We just forgotten, and we live in this sense of separation. And of course, even coming near to fear is the way to liberation. Even being near to, more than near to, just, it's a very deep path where we meet everything as it is, but not just from an awareness. You know, this for me, this is one wing: the awareness, the presence, the seeing what is. But it still keeps you removed. Yeah, it's still not quite. The other wing I call is the lovingness. Like in this poem, you allow your heart to break open. It's just breaking the shell. And in that open heart, there is like this, the pain moves through you, the fear moves through you, everything touches you so intimately. So you and I sitting here, I can feel you. I'm here with you in this. And this love says, all of it is mine. All of it I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. The realization comes, you cannot fully comprehend that in the mind because it blows the mind. But you can, like you said, this sort of deep path of surrender, this, yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we are already surrendered, right? It's not something I have to do. It's just a matter of, it's almost like a shift of perception, or it's just a matter of, I'm already this love. I'm already surrendered. I'm just not recognizing it. Or,
well, I would make a differentiation here. Yes, you are already this love. It's unquestioned. It's your nature. However, not many are surrendered to that. This is the path and the practice, the deeper surrender of the mind surrendering to this truth. The emotional body, the physical body is easier because it is already, it is already love, and we just need to allow it to move as it wants to move. So there is an inquiry question, how is love living me right now? This simple question can be so profound. It's the knowing the love is already here. And at the same time, the surrender is like, how is love living me right now? And the offering to give yourself fully to that in each moment. And to this truth. And in one way, it's extremely simple And in another way, it's not easy, you know.
Yeah, yeah. When you're heartbroken, which seems to, it seems like there's always this underlying heartbrokenness somehow. I don't know. Is that just the vulnerability of being a human? Or?
Yeah, I think you have exactly the vulnerability of being human, and in every human, in every person, and also myself, I have met this broken heart, and that is what we fear so much, and that is actually the gateway into the truth of our being. It's the vulnerability. It's the willingness to be so open, not get stuck in the pain, but also let yourself fully feel it. Yeah. Because first then, when for me, when it began, I mean, it was a long time ago, and then over and over again, this experience of like, let your heart break. And I thought, God, how many times? When am I done with this? And it happened when I was walking the streets and saw the homeless people. I let it hit me. And it again, another layer of defense had melted down. Yeah. And because before it was always like there's a separation. Of course we're different. Yeah, there is no question. You and I have a different life, a different setup. And like everyone else who's listening, we're separate in a sense of we're different, but we're not separate. And so what this broken heart, when we dare to allow that and go all the way, it's like giving birth to love itself. I have encountered incredible grief. And it was like, it takes your breath away. You probably have experienced it where it's just like, I can't take more. And yet, it's the same as when I was giving birth to my daughter, is this breathing into it, leaning into it, allowing this movement that is shattering everything that, you know, around it's just the shattering of the defenses, but it's painful. So the more allowing yourself to lean into it and feel it and trust that flow, that love's flow, in that moment at the bottom of the deepest grief, I dropped into the truth of love.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really like it's going all the way and not stop because of the fear gets so strong, but keep just keep opening up or keep being with it as it happens.
I would say deeper than just being with it, because the being with it is still I am with it. Yeah, there is still an it over there. But when we want to, there's this gap of separation the whole time, me and it. There's the love and I can't quite reach it. There's the carrot stick and I can't quite, I have a glimpse and then it's gone again, for crying out loud. You know, it's like, where did it go? I'm again, you know. And so it's like, it's not just being with it because it's still there as a watcher. Yeah. But no, you go even more radical. This pain is the beloved. This pain, I mean, it's hard to say that, but the pain is her, is the love, setting you free. Now that throws the mind, because the mind says, what do you mean, the pain? I mean, that's, who wants that? But when you really, I don't know if you have experienced it, maybe a heart breaks, somebody, you lose somebody, or there's a deep loss, you know, when you really allow yourself to drop deeper and deeper into that and let the movement take you. And in that, what starts happening is just like in the beginning, you might feel like, oh my God, so much love for this person I just lost. Yeah. And then it goes deeper for there is so much love just there is just love. And then goes deeper. You are that love.
Yeah.
It goes deeper than just the mental realization. And also what it needs, it needs the presence to meet the pain, but at the same time, we do need the warmth. We do need that kindness, yeah, so that it's not just, oh yeah, it's just that, I'm watching the pain, but like it's like a mother who's meeting the pain and saying, hey, there you are, there you are, there you are. It's like there's a softness that needs to come with it, a softening with the pain.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's life is happening every day, and we are life, and it seems like it's a natural flow. Life is a natural flow, and it has everything, it holds everything. And so it's like we are one with life. We are this essence of love, and we are love being manifested as life. And it's one and the same. So it's like, instead of maybe thinking, oh, I'm a person, it's more like I'm just life happening. And
Yes.
yeah, but you don't even identify with that either, because it's again, then it becomes me and life again, right?
I think it's beautiful what you say. It's like, I am life. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful Kwan you can use. Like these words, like I'm life. Like, oh yeah, how's life moving me? And there is notice how there's an opening happening also in the mind. And, I'm embodied as this person with this name. That's okay. That's life. Life is flowing through this person with my name called Nicola, moving through. And I'm the just allowing to be that, that river, that vessel for it. Yeah, it's in the holy beings they say, it's like, make me an instrument of thy peace, make me an instrument of thy life, thy love. It's a purity that can then flow through unencumbered when we don't stand and make all these blocks against life. So there's often the sense of like, okay, I have to leave out the joy, or I have to leave out the pain, or I have to leave out the fear, I have to leave out the trauma, and I have to leave out my kids. They're not holy. No. And so the invitation from love is radical. It says this form, all these forms, the trees, the animals, all beings, is sacred, is holy. And in the fear is life, because it starts shaking when you allow the fear. Yeah, it's just like, oh, it shakes through your body. In the pain is the sorrow of this world. In the joy is that bliss that starts rising. So if we leave anything out, we cut off. But if we remember that we are life, you are life, you are love, and love is whole. It's complete unto itself. It leaves nothing, zero out.
Yeah.
And it's this old saying, it's in the tiny mustard seed. The kingdom of heaven, or the queendom of the earth, is in the tiny mustard seed.
Yeah.
And that's in our heart. That deep knowing, it's in our heart. And to keep leaning towards that, bowing to that holiness. It's not that holiness that's separate from, oh, you're a person. Person here and holy here. How we do this thing. It's a very dualistic way, even. But we say, no, you're person and you're no person.
Yeah, it's beyond words. Yeah.
Right now, you can feel it, you can sense it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we have a tendency to ask why this and how about this, and yeah, where, what, every, you know, all the W's, right? Who, who am I? And it's just, there's this curiosity, and but it's all beyond words and beyond answers, right? Because you, I mean, they're question and answers, but are they going anywhere?
That's a good question. I think the difference when at the beginning of the path, I think it's very important to ask questions, because questions loosen up the mind, and asking the right questions, like asking the question, you know, what is happening right now? Who am I? These are questions that are inquiry questions that have been used since ancient times. Is to pierce through the veil of delusion. This curiosity that brings you here in this moment is important, because without that curiosity, we stay asleep. At some point, however, on the journey comes a point where there is no more seeking, there's no more asking or answer. But in the beginning, I think and in the middle path, there's often like, you know, how do you get up to the mountain? Well, you ask a guide, you know, and in the deepest sense, there's a stillness. And there's no more, it's just is. Love just is. Life just is. And there's no more. We have such a struggle with life, and we're struggling with love too, you know, it's the same. We struggle, it shouldn't be this way and it should be that way, and it keeps going the whole time. You know, should look better, should be different, and the person should be different. It's all fine, but there's a constant struggle. I'm actually in a big struggle with life. Now, does it mean if I surrender to life as it is, does it mean I don't make changes in the world, or I don't speak up? Of course you do speak up. Of course you make changes, but you're free. You're not in this, you're not tied in that grip of fighting against what is. And then there's this other more devotional path where you can just you begin to see, oh yeah, this is my beloved in the form of a person who is hungry. Yeah. And this is my beloved in the flower field. Now, when I look into your eyes and here you are. And that can only be discovered by the heart. Otherwise it stays in the mental realm. But just, you know, to just even ask that question, and now how is love here now? It's a wonderful question. And they can open that mind that's hunting, busy.
Yeah, because the mind, a lot of what the mind will tell you is learned from growing up, you know, culture, parents, school, friends, family, everything is learned in a way. But there's something in us that's just naturally here and open.
Yeah, it's very simple. And the mind has its place. You know, it's like, it's like if you, I sometimes compare it to a warehouse. It collects folders and facts and data and history, and it makes some make really neat folders, but with others it looks like a chaos house, but it's all paper that records. And the mind is brilliant with that, and it's really useful to record how you drive a car. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the mind is not here to discover the deepest truth of life. It has to come into service to that, into surrender, as we began, to that. Because it's like the knowing, what you said, is already in us. And when we touch it, it's grace, and we touch that, and then make your life around that, serve that. Let the mind be in the back seat, and let the soul drive the car, or the love drive the car, your true nature. And that's a process, that's, that means also like, oh, there's traumas coming up, because in my experience, love wants to take everything home. It says like, okay, here comes the trauma, like that wants to come home into the love. It wants to be met by love, not just by presence, but by love, by a genuine human connection. So, and in that way, it becomes rather simple, even though it goes usually opposite what our world tells us and what the mind has in the warehouse collected.
Yeah, because it's like we know inside what's right to do in the moment, in the situation that arises, and it's like we have that knowing in us, but sometimes we follow the mind, and maybe and oftentimes I know that from myself. If I've done something that didn't quite feel right, I also realized, no, it wasn't really me. It was something that I was told and I thought and I believed in, but if I really felt was in me, I would probably have done something different. But then again, I don't know. It's like, because we also hear there is no actual free will as such, and then I'm like, it does feel like I have a free will to make choices, but on the other hand, the whole universe and I probably don't have much free will.
My sense is like when you just described this, this moment where you make a choice that comes from conditioning. It's like there is something called, making a choice. Your conditioning is making that choice. It's not even a free will in that. But at some point comes the sense of like, you have a choice in, do you turn towards love, towards the truth, or do you turn away from it? Do you follow what comes from inside that really rings true, or you do the same old and repeat history? Yeah, live your conditioning, basically. There is a choice. For most people, until they wake up at least a little bit, there is no sense of choice, because you're so caught in the conditioning. You're just repeating and repeating and repeating. It's like an old tape. And you just live quite the same as your parents before, maybe with a little difference. But at some point, when there comes a dawning of the truth, on the love, there comes a sense of like, oh my God, I really want to, like you said, I really want to follow what my heart or my innermost being shows me to live. And that is a choice. Then you have a choice suddenly. And then the more you follow that, the more you devote your life to that, then it's like choiceless. It's not even a question that you're not going to beat up the guy next door. It's like it's in your being. That means the more you come into alignment with the truly living water that gives life. It's just like when you say love is life, life is love. One thing to really, I don't even use the word enlightenment, I call it enlightenment. It's you come alive when you align. You go dead the more you live the cement of your conditioning. It's just a reality. It's like if you live in the warehouse of your mind, you become the cement blocks, and then you get stuck. And so many people are stuck in that. And at some point, it's like enough is enough. There's something that starts waking, it's a fire. It's like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when the change begins. It's like something breaks open. The heart starts breaking open. The mind suddenly has no more control. And that is the moment of, I would say, a great, great grace and blessing. It may not feel like that, but it is the opportunity then to actually make the choice. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with love. I'm going to go with life this time. Then it gets easier and easier. And at some point, it's like you merge, and it becomes like, this is the road. This is in that moment, you become also a great blessing on this planet.
Yeah.
This exploration, you know, and the fearlessness to touch anything.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Do you have another poem you can read? Yeah. About love is all about love. Yeah.
I think this is I often know that people are, you know, feel there's such a need to be loved, and it's such a deep pain. And yes, our nature is love, but at the same time, it really helps when another human being, or, you know, we feel loved by life. And so often we don't, you know. And so here, this is for everyone to get a kiss of that. Let me kiss you awake from your slumber. Let me carry you into the soft radiance of light and whisper a secret, the only one you and I and the whole world shall know. Beloved, you are precious as you are. Everything else they told you in an insane world like this was just a big fat lie that led you, like so many of us, astray. Let me love you all the way, just as you've been yearning for, whilst so often others, feeling separate, have looked out for themselves alone. And let me tell you, as I hold the palm of your hand, the one truth I have found at the core of all creation: there is nothing but love here. May I suggest, beautiful one, simply surrender into that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's because the love that we are made of, if let's say the whole world does fall apart and we're alone too, we're still held in love.
That's the most important. The deepest pain is to feel, if you have hard things happen and you are alone, that's the deepest pain. So to meet each other even, or to feel the love holds you even in your worst nightmare, or to meet another and say, you know, I meet you right where you are. That is what love does. And in that moment, the gap of separation melts down, because we're not alone anymore. You know, we can walk through all experiences, but the sense of agonizing aloneness makes it really hard. And so when we can, you know, meet each other in that, and also feel, okay, in your meditation, feel that the love holds you. There's something that holds you, even if it's, you know, the earth holds you. In that moment, something in the nervous system starts settling down. And you can feel, yeah, you're not thrown, you can't fall off the earth, you're not thrown out of the universe. Because you have, you know, something bad happened, you are still held even with that. And I feel that's what we need so badly. And that's what people looking for with, you know, partners. They should fulfill the ultimate love. Nobody can, but love comes in many ways, like to show you, even in this moment, as you listen, you know, here is love. You can feel it. it holds you, it envelops you. And then there is that love that's waiting and calling for you, calling you home. It's here in your being as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can't escape the love that you are, right? You just have to see it.
You can run 100 miles away and still, it's just like love is like, okay, keep running.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's still sitting with you on the bench when you sit alone. Love is there.
Yeah.
The hard part is not just to realize that, to feel that.
Mm.
So, it's like knowing that can be even agony when you sit alone and you are going through a hard time and you don't feel the love. And then somebody says, well, love is sitting with you. You're like, I don't feel it. And that's the pace where we as humans can actually help each other and say, and I'm holding you as a human being. Or the earth is still holding you. There is a direct contact. I think sometimes I feel like the whole universe made something exquisitely beautiful in case we forget. There is the trees, there is the birds that sing, there's another human being, and it's bridging that into form. Yeah, it's like there's a hand that touches yours when you're going through a tough time.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why I'm very much about it's not just formless, it's form as well, and we need both. We need that. It's not just in me; it's in you too. And sometimes I need, we need each other to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like sharing the love, right, with each other. It's other people, and it's yeah.
And then to be willing to be present, that's a requirement. It's difficult to find love in the past when you're in your head, and it's difficult to find it in the future when you worry about something. But when we're just sitting here with each other, also in the space, it's like, yeah, love is right now here. You can feel it, you can sense it, and to we're sharing this in this moment with each other. And that is the beauty of that. That's what I feel the whole universe is, wanting to is in love with. The whole universe is in love, madly in love with itself and with the whole creation. It's like if we only knew how great this love is, we would laugh out loud. The world have we done? We've played hide and seek. It was a game in the beginning, and then it became a bloody mess. And to touch that, to fall into that love. That's why we talk always about falling in love, and then it's always about the other. But it's that love is saying, yeah, fall in love. Come on. This is what the whole universe is doing all the time. It's in love. And permeating everything. And I think for us to develop the capacities to let that love flow through us, that's the labor. That's the undoing of all the conditioning, the willingness to meet whatever arises, and to steep in the stillness and let it reveal through you. Come back over and over to that ancient call. And in that moment, I feel like, when I have not met one human being who doesn't want the love.
Yeah.
And we're terrified of it too, because once it takes you over.
Mm.
So,
Wow, Nicola, that's just so beautiful. I'm in love.
wonderful. I hope everybody feels that.
Yeah. And your website, how can people get in touch with you and your events?
Yes, so people can look at my website. It's called nicolaamadora.com. And I teach retreats and trainings. I'm doing more and more online given the situation. So I have also spiritual groups, and I also work a lot with the feminine. And there's Mary Magdalena retreats. We're going to go to France. And yeah, there's online groups and study groups, but also yeah, professional trainings I do as well. And I do private sessions, therapeutic, embodiment oriented. But I have a wait list, so it's better to start coming into groups. And yeah, it's just I feel such a joy in meeting people in person. Like I was just in Germany teaching, and it's called I did the Fire of Connection retreat with men and women, and so beautiful. Of course, I love in person. I'm it's much more personal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the online works as well. So if people want to get in touch, I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, it works. I mean, you worked on me, and we are online, right? So it sure does work. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your participation in the summit. So thank you.
I'm honored that you invited me, and it's my favorite theme we talked about. So thank you. And I could have talked the whole night long with you, but we ended here, and I'm grateful. I hope it supports other people as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.